Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Everybody, this is a video request, and if you have a request, or a consultation request, or need an email request, or need some kind of consultation, it can be private. Go to assholeconsulting.com, where we will give you my honest opinion, which is much more than your average consultant will do, lying to your face, telling you what you want to hear, stretching it out so they can maximize their profits. I want you to... My goal is to never hear from you again because we solved your problem. You go away. Just a warning, this one is from a female who doesn't shut her yap. She talks way too much. And that's the first bit of advice there, sweetheart. You took your long-ass sweet time, and it was Barfsville, man. You just vomited out everything, even though it was about, presumably, one topic. So, if you haven't, go pour yourself a coffee or a martini or something and get comfy, because it's going to take a while. Dear Clary, I am projected to graduate this fall semester with a degree in supply chain management and logistics. I prefer my university to be anonymous, but it has a lot of orange and football, hint hint. I picked the major because it wasn't too difficult. The field is growing at a fast rate, and my school's program is in the top 3 rated in the country. Well, that's good. As a result, it isn't too difficult to get a job right out of college, making $45,000 to $87,000 annually, depending on what position you get hired in. I'd love to see those statistics and how they came through it. I really would. The catch is most of these jobs are in the South or the Midwest because I attend an SEC school. After being in an SEC school for 4 years, I'm extremely sick of Tennessee and the Southeast in general. In summary, I do not like the people or shitty weather down here. Also, I do not feel like freezing my ass off 6 months out of the year in the Midwest. I don't blame you. The North is too expensive, has shitty weather, and the people suck as well. I have a keen interest in going west because I prefer its geography, seems to have better people, and I want to experience a new area. I prefer the West Coast states, but I could swallow Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and Colorado as well. Yeah, the West Coast states suck worse. You don't want to go to California, Washington, or Oregon. I mean, do you like liberals? Do you like paying taxes? Do you like having everyone saying you should accuse your boyfriend of rape because you had a drink? I mean, seriously, do you want to go out to leftist crazy land? I recommend Colorado for young people. That would be the most fun state ever. What's the best way to apply it to these areas from a place like Tennessee with no professional experience? You email them. You go to Indeed.com, you look for supply chain management jobs in these towns, and you apply for them. And I'm going to answer these, well, I don't know. Let's just continue reading on. Everybody is telling me to give up and settle in Charlotte and Atlanta, but fuck that. In addition, my career advisor told me to work in Atlanta and hope the company relocates me out west. I'm also not too fond of climbing a corporate ladder, so I'm open to a base salary plus commission type of job. I'm also looking into the U.S. Navy because they have around at most $50,000 in student loans. They want to put me on this nuclear program to where I will make $100,000 after school and training. After school and training, but the job is hell. Would you recommend just pursuing the officer route? I would also like to travel and desire to visit other countries as well. I've been to pretty much every major city east of the Mississippi River. I found Chicago and DC to be my favorites. You didn't spend enough time there. I don't know how you could like Chicago or DC. It's fun to visit, but good lord. I'm from Nashville, but I don't want to go back home. I don't want to go to my hometown again. What area out west would be best for me personally? I'm a preppy black male. Wait, I thought you said a female. Oh, you're female related. Okay, the question is also female rated. Okay, you're a black male that runs your yap. All right, stop being like a chick. Okay, stop running your yap. I am a preppy black male from an upper middle class background. I slightly lean on the liberal side, but I can tolerate conservative. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. If you're liberal, then yeah, go out to California and Oregon and Washington or DC or Chicago. Just don't expect a lot of job offers. But I can tolerate conservatives with mindsets such as yourself because y'all all rational. See, it's from the South. In the South, being a Republican or Democrat is heavily influenced by your race and racism. No, it's your choice. You can choose as to what you believe in. You don't have to be determined by race. That's you deciding you're going to let that influence you. Next, I'm not interested in getting married or having kids, but am a horn dog as well. have put too much effort into getting lower quality girls here in the South, so I need an area with open-minded people. Dang, a black guy isn't the Southern Belle thing to do, so I'm left with mostly trashy and spoiled social justice warrior types like my ex-girlfriend. Why can't you get... I suppose... Well, here's the thing. I don't even know if it's racism or even the South. People tend to want to date within their race, which is kind of interesting. You want to date a presumably white Southern belle. But what's wrong with the black chicks down there? I mean, can't you find a quality black gal down there? I mean, unless you got a thing for the white ladies, okay, you got a little jungle fever, all right. But that's going to be a hurdle no matter what. People tend to date within their race. This isn't to say, of course, I've met hot black chicks and hot Asian chicks, and they all, summarily shot me down, but never once did I think it was because of race. I think it was just, okay, it is because of race, but not racism. They just weren't attracted to me. So that's just going to be a hurdle you're going to face no matter where you go. 6'2", muscular, good-looking, and approachable. Last, I grew up in a 98% white area. It shows my personality. As a result, I do not get along with most black Americans because I do not tolerate the asinine excuses they make for their current positions in life. Regards. Okay, Jesus fucking Christ, you're all over the place. Here's the deal. Given the labor market for young people, I would take a job no matter where you can get it. Now, ideally, you would get a job out on the West Coast. I would advise against going to the West Coast. I would recommend Utah. I would recommend Colorado. I would recommend Texas. I would recommend, this is out west, I would recommend Arizona. But if you can't find jobs there, you really just don't want to, you have your mind set, then yeah, go to California. Just go to California. It's where all the young people go. You're a liberal, sort of. You'll learn to hate liberals even more than you hate your fellow black people. I don't know if you'd like Washington or Portland. It's just hipster douchebag central. Now, you can fall into the right group of people. There are some really cool people out there. But if you're going out there cold, I don't know. You seem a little bit more cosmopolitan and you would need sun. So I would recommend California. But otherwise, if you're willing to give it a shot, and you definitely don't want to be in the Southeast anymore, yeah, Colorado, man, absolutely do it. See if you can find a supply chain management job in Colorado. I love that. I think, even though, they're kind of hippies, they all do pot, so maybe your liberal side would like it. But if push comes to shove and you can't find a job, which is very possible in today's economy, and especially I think these figures they've been giving you about employment prospects are bullshit. But if you can't find a job, you got to put food on the table. So that then opens up going back to the South and the Midwest where the jobs are. And unfortunately, if the jobs are there, that's where you're going to have to work. So then it becomes a decision as to, okay, how much do you really want to work at supply chain management versus going into the Navy? Now, the Navy, that's going to be tougher than shit. Not just because you're going to be in the Navy and it's military, but if you're going into a nuclear program, you're studying your motherfucking ass off, and you may not even get in because of the mathematical testing and requirements that are required to get in there. But if you can, think of it this way: all right, yeah, it's going to suck, but boy, 6 figures coming out of that. That's not bad, that solves a lot of fucking problems. And the other sides of the Navy, yes, you're going to go, they're not going to have you stay in one place. They might, but usually you're going to be traveling around. You could be in a fucking tin can underneath the sea as a nuclear submarine propulsion expert, but you'll go to different places. It's just that the Navy's going to own your ass. Now, the good thing is you're also young, so it's not like you got to join the Navy today. They'll take you for quite some time. But what you got to do is figure out, where you want to work. Can you work? Do you want to work in supply chain management? If it boils down to the only place you could get jobs is in the South or the cold Midwest. And if you can't, then yeah, then the Navy would be. So follow through on all that and then decide whether or not, okay, shitty area where you work supply chain management or the Navy. But the Navy is not to be taken lightly. You will want to think things out. And right now, frankly, from your blathering on here, your mind is all over the fucking place. And it's not just like, I want to do that, I'm going to eat sandwiches, I'm going to have ice cream, I'm going to join the Navy, and I'm going to become a nuclear propulsion expert, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to grow cats, and I'm going to go raise wiener dogs. Dude, fucking focus, all right? Do some more research as to what's required of the Navy before you join that fucking thing or pursue that and waste any time. Yeah. Another thing, before we move on to the ladies, another thing you may want to think about doing is if you have the money, which it doesn't sound like you do because you got 50 grand in debt, but if you have the opportunity, the ability, maybe check out Denver. Maybe do a road trip out west. Maybe check some key towns. Check out Phoenix. Check out Denver. Do some research. Find if there's towns that have supply chain jobs in them or an industry, and then go visit those jobs that are out west and see if you even like these places. Don't move to a place cold if you can avoid it. Or if you fly out there for the interview, thoroughly drive around the area and see. I mean, I personally believe you need 2 weeks, even a month, to figure out whether you're going to like a town. But, drive around, find out what you can. And if you got even the slightest bit like, this place sucks, then don't fucking move there. It's not worth it. Now, for the women, yeah, you're a horny guy who's in his 20s. Welcome to the fucking club. Every guy who was in his younger 20s was horny. For the ladies, though, I mean, it doesn't sound like you're willing to settle down just yet, and you're not in a position to settle down. You got to pay off your debts and all that other stuff. But yeah, just bang a bunch of broads. It's not that hard. It sounds like you're a good-looking guy. It sounds like you're okay. And I know, look, you don't have to date the social justice warriors. You just have to fuck them, okay? No one says it because you have sex with the girl, you got to marry her. So if there's a hot social justice warrior chick, if they exist, but if this mythical creature does exist and you can bang, go bang her, all right? Get your jollies off. But yeah, you don't worry about finding a girlfriend. Don't worry about a wife right now. You gotta get rid of that debt. You gotta get yourself a job. You gotta figure out where you're gonna be in life, and then it'll become apparent at the right time. You're like, oh, okay, I'm kind of stable, or you're a naval officer. Okay, now I can start thinking. Step 2, maybe housing instead. I'd recommend looking at that, or step 3, move to where the corporate has the better job. And then step 4, now we're stable, got the job, all right, the debts are paid off. Now we can start looking at the ladies, or wife and kids. So we have that there. Effort to meet lower quality girls. And yeah, that's another thing. Dude, your generation is just fucked. I thought my generation was fucked. Your generation is so fucked in terms of the quality of women. We've gone over this before, but the amount of... And I'm sorry, this is on your side of the political aisle. The leftist brainwashing that these women get from feminists, and there's not any conservative Republican feminists out there, I'll tell you that. They're led to believe that they don't need a man, and their career's more important, and fuck family, and fuck my husband, and I gotta go and become a lawyer, and I gotta become a roundhouse kicking chick cop girl, and all this other crap. You are so last on their radar. And don't expect them to be thinking like, I want to support my man, I really gotta help my man. And, there's a concept called another person called the man, and he might have desires, wants, and needs. So you're going into probably the worst dating market that has ever existed in the United States. So also keep that in mind. There's not a lot of good selection. There just isn't. There really isn't. And I do apologize, but just don't think it's you. That's the thing. I mean, you could, as long as you're not a dick, you're not a jerk. You sound like you keep yourself in shape. You sound like you got your act together here. Relatively speaking, you need a lot of focus. But it sounds like you would be you're above average, and I would consider you to be pretty good catch. Don't think just because you're a good catch that there's going to be good catches for women out there. It's crap. Lots of frogs before you find your princess sort of thing. So you got there. But otherwise, just... start applying, man. Start sending those resumes out there. Go to Indeed.com. Start searching for supply chain management on the internet. Send as many resumes out west as you can. May not be as statistically likely you'll find a job as you would in the Midwest or the South. But then if you can't find a job where you'd like to live, then you got to find out, do I want to get a job where I don't want to live or join the Navy? And then the girls I would definitely worry about later. Anyway, best of luck to you. And don't worry. This is the time of life that's going to suck. This is because there's no stability. This is the first time you don't have school or something to do every day, and now you got to go figure out. So don't worry, it's going to suck, but don't panic, all right? But I think you think you're still on the right track. You got yourself some pretty good options. Toodles.